Welcome to highlights from the 2024 Paralympic Games in Paris. Coming up, celebrating a world record on the opening day of athletics at the Stade de France. At the shooting range, marksmen and women were aiming for Paralympic titles. And the Games rowing regatta was underway with places in the medal races at stake.
In the impressive surroundings of the Stade de France, the first track final of the 2024 Paralympic Games was the men's T11 5,000 metres. All eyes were on defending champion, Brazil's Yeltsin Jacques, who set a new world record for the event of 14 minutes 53.97 seconds earlier this year. The T11 category is for athletes with vision impairments. All competitors wear eye shades to ensure fair competition and run with a guide. The early leader was a Brazilian, but not Jacques. Instead, Julio César Agrippino dos Santos set the pace. A few metres back, Jacques was struggling to stay in touch. Competitors can change their guides as the race progresses, and Agrippino dos Santos had a new partner with victory within reach. The pace was unforgiving, with neutral Paralympic athlete Fedor Rudakov unable to finish the race. But as the leading athletes began the final lap, Agrippino dos Santos was still ahead from Karasawa Kenya of Japan, with Jacques in third place. And the time was fast. Could the world record be about to fall? At the end of a remarkable race, all three medalists had broken the old record, and the new one belonged to Julio César Agrippino dos Santos. Brazil had claimed the gold and bronze medals, with Japan taking silver. But the winner was Agrippino dos Santos. His winning time, 14 minutes 48.85 seconds. The other track final of the opening morning of competition was the women's 100 metres in the T35 category. It was expected to be a battle between Guo Jianzhan and defending champion Zhu Jia. Both were representing the People's Republic of China. As the race developed, it was Zhou who gained the upper hand. Zhou the winner in a time of 13.58 seconds. The silver medal went to Guo, and India's Preeti Pal was impressive as she won bronze.
I knew today was going to be my day, my guide's day and my group. This has taken several years of dedication and hard work to get to this point and achieve this goal. I'm really happy. I'm just now realising that I'm a Paralympic champion. I'm very, very emotional.
The Netherlands arrived at Paris 2024 as Paralympic wheelchair basketball champions and got the defence of their title underway against Japan in Group B. This, a repeat of the quarter-final at Tokyo 2020, when the Japanese went down to a 58-point defeat. And the Dutch settled immediately, taking the tap off. And scoring through Mariska Bayer. Japan responded quickly. Yanagamoto Amane given too much space and time to take her shot. That, however, was a rare lapse from the Netherlands, who would only concede a further 3 points in the first quarter, dominating with moments of individual brilliance and a combination of precise team play and pinpoint accuracy. Zina Wimmenhoff quickly following Bo Kramer's basket. A 22-point deficit going into the second quarter, but a chance for Japan's coach to reset. Iguchi Yuri offered a glimmer of hope. The Dutch continued to dominate thanks to their superior size and strength, not to mention their speed, And skill. Beyer with the layup. No player demonstrated the power of the Dutch more than Bo Kramer, with 25 points in the first half, which ended 51-16. Amamoto Mari gave Japan's supporters something to cheer towards the end of the third quarter with a lovely drive, head fake and finish. Japan rallied in the final quarter, but they couldn't restrict Beyer. She amassed 30 points in the match. 3 years may have passed since the sides met at the Paralympic Games, but the distance between them remains. 53 points the difference on this occasion.
It was a good way that everybody could play, everybody got their minutes, a lot of girls were on the scoring board, and I think that's a very good start of starting the tournament where we know that we're going to fight a good battle. Everybody knows you're the favourite, we know it, but we also know that it's going to be a very close tournament this time and that we need to fight every single game step by step. And of course we want to defend the title, but there are other teams that want the title as well.
Australia have a rich Paralympic history in wheelchair basketball with 2 golds and 2 silvers, but haven't won a medal since 2012. Their first game in Group B was against Spain, who lost their opener to the United States of America. Australia struck first to go 4 points up. But Spain hit back on the break through Alejandro Zarzuela. Lots of contact in the early stages, Bill Latham scoring a field goal and drawing the foul. Spain began to take control and opened up a 5-point lead. Zarzuela again on target. And there was no let-up in the physical nature of the contest, yet more heavy contact between the players. 7 points the lead at the break. Seconds into the second quarter, it was 10, Asier Garcia with too much time and space. When that became 12, a timeout gave Australia an opportunity to reset. 18-year-old Ethan Leard was introduced and made an immediate impact at his first Paralympic Games. The same player continued to pull the strings for Australia. He found Tristan Knowles, Knowles found the basket. Spain's lead at half-time reduced to 8. But the break appeared to benefit the Spanish as they pulled clear in the third quarter. Ignacio Ortega from distance for 3. Their consistency illustrated throughout the match by Zarzuela. He made it 9 shots from 10 here and would rack up 25 points in the game. Spain 52-30 ahead. If Australia were to mount a comeback, they had to respond quickly, and Leard got his side to within 16 with a 3-point shot. The teenager trying right to the end and showing off his range of skills to set up Sean Norris. But the Spanish lead proved insurmountable, a 68-60 win as they try to emulate their silver medal success of 2016.
The South Paris Arena gave a deafening welcome to the French competitors in the quarter-finals of the women's para-table tennis doubles. Playing in the WD10 classification, Alexandra St-Pierre and Flora Vautier faced Nada Matic and Borislava Peric-Rankovic of Serbia. France got off to the best possible start, taking the first game by 11 points to 5. But Serbia dug in, and by the 5th and final game, it was 2 games all, with little to choose between them. As the score reached 11 each, the first team to score 2 points would progress to the medal playoffs. The loser would go home with nothing. A tactical shot straight down the middle gave the Serbians the match point. France were serving to stay in the game. An error in return and it was all over. Serbia were through, a Paralympic medal was guaranteed. The semi-final match in the WD5 category saw Katia Oliveira and Joyce Oliveira of Brazil face Xiao Su-young and Yoon Ji-yu of the Republic of Korea. This match would determine who would go on to play for gold. Xiao Su-young composed herself before taking her serve. It was a tactic which worked, as the Koreans took the first game 11-6. Xiao found herself again serving for game point in the second. A hard-fought rally saw the Koreans triumph. They were just one game away from a place in the final. Brazil had a comeback chance in the third game, but they failed to capitalise and the match went to a tiebreak. In the end, a serving error from Katia Oliveira gifted the Koreans the point and the win. The Republic of Korea would go on to play the People's Republic of China for gold. Brazil would take home the bronze.
The first elimination round of the Women's Individual Compound Open took place in the para-archery at Les Invalides. Archers competed head-to-head over 5 ends of 3 arrows each, aiming for a target 50 metres away, with the central section worth a perfect 10 points. Consistency would be key, with the cumulative total after 15 arrows deciding the winner of each contest.
10.
Rio 2016 gold medalist Zhao Jiamin of the People's Republic of China found the scoring form that she needed to advance with 140 points. Poland's Ksenia Markitantova was level on 138 points with Jorma Arta of Bangladesh after end 5, taking them to a tense shoot-off. Arta hit the 10. Markitantova would now have to go even closer to the centre of the target to win. She did it, taking the shoot-off victory with a final arrow just 15.8 millimetres from the centre point. The fans and the athletes had to cope with the wet conditions. Despite the rain, French archer Julie Rigaud-Chupin fired herself towards a 130-127 victory, much to the delight of her home supporters in Paris. Lin Yue-shan of China, a mixed team gold medalist at Tokyo 2020, progressed with a comfortable margin.
10.
But for the defending champion, Great Britain's Phoebe Patterson-Pine, things weren't so easy. Her opponent, Diana Gonzabay Guaman of Ecuador, posted an excellent score of 141.
9.
With her final arrow, Patterson-Pine needed a perfect 10.
10.
Her relief was clear to see as she won by just 1 point, 142 to 141. As the rain increased, Chilean archer Mariana Zuniga booked her place in the next round.
9.
As did India's Sarita, bringing to a close the first knockout round of the Women's Individual Compound Open competition.
The group matches continued in para-badminton, with India's Manasi Girish Chandra Joshi against Oksana Kazina from Ukraine in the women's SL3 category. Joshi, the world number 4, lost her opening match, so a win here was vital. And she quickly piled on the pressure. 10 points from 12 secured the game for the Indian. Kazina, the world champion from 2022, came roaring back. She came out on top in this rally before securing the game, showing superb reactions with this dive. There was little to separate the two in the deciding game. Joshi pulled 4 points ahead, but the world number 7 showed great desire, saving 3 match points. And finally taking the win, 23-21. Huge commitment by her, and the reaction reflected her delight. Tremendous victory for the Ukrainian. In the men's singles WH2, the silver medalist from Tokyo 2020, Kim Jung-jun from the Republic of Korea, took on home favourite Thomas Jacobs in front of a partisan crowd at La Chapelle Arena. Both men contributed to a fantastic game, but it was the Frenchman who made home support count, saving 5 game points. Before taking the opening game 24-22. Into the second game, and 46-year-old Kim, the world number 3, went ahead by 10 points. And this time, Jacobs couldn't muster a response. 1 game all, and we were into a decider. Kim raced into an 11-3 lead. The watching Korean contingent loved it. And the Korean pressed home his advantage. 21-8 it finished. Kim prevailed. The women's doubles, WH1, WH2, was a repeat of the Tokyo 2020 final, where the Japanese pairing of Satomi Serena and Yamazaki Yuma overcame Liu Yu-tong and Yin Menglu from the People's Republic of China. The Chinese in red were aiming to add a Paralympic title to the World Championship they won earlier this year. They took the opening game. The Japanese needed a response in the second, but instead the Chinese went up again. They took 10 of the last 14 points to record a very comfortable victory. The Japanese with work to do to retain their gold medals.
My name is Jose Marcio da Silva Sousa. I'm from Brazil, and my sport is goalball. When someone sees goalball for the first time, they might think it's very aggressive. Let's hit each other, and whoever gets tired first will concede a goal. But there is strategy. For example, there are the fakes we can do, like bounce balls, or vice versa, the smooth balls, which go low, to make the opponent commit to a particular defense. Then we make a different attack to score the goal. So it's attack against defense. It's an extremely strategic game. Goalball is played in silence because we play on an equal footing with completely blind players. In my case, I have low vision. I am B3. There is B1, B2 and B3. So if I play without a blindfold against someone who is B1, I'll have a big advantage because I'll see what I am doing and my opponent won't. In addition to wearing the Taj, which are the black glasses, we also use off-tam, which is a surgical eye patch that we put on before wearing the glasses. That way we are all exactly the same. You need great hearing, which is something that visually impaired people do have. Because you lose your vision, your hearing gets sharp. And you need the willpower to want to keep practicing and overcoming adversity. I have, let's say, some scars. I've broken my finger, for example. So it teaches you that it's not always going to be just victories in sport. There are falls, there are injuries, like in other sports. If I had to sum up goalball, it's like getting stung, but then you fall in love with the bee.
Defending champions Brazil were looking to make it 2 wins from 2 as the goalball competition continued at Paris 2024. To do that, they needed to beat the United States of America, who were playing their first match. It took more than 3 minutes for the first goal to arrive. Leomar Moreno scored 1 in their win against France. Now he had 2 in the competition. But the United States have a star man of their own. Callahan Young scored 20 goals at the last Paralympic Games in Tokyo. 2 quick goals from him here saw the USA take the lead. And it was quickly becoming a match between Moreno and Young. 2 more efforts from Moreno put Brazil in control. But back came the Americans. Back came Young. 2 goals of his own. Now 5-all. Goalball is fast and frenetic, and this was end-to-end. Every time Brazil went in front, the USA responded. Christian King scored on his Paralympic Games debut, and he showed that he could defend his goal moments later too. 7-6 to Brazil, and that was just half-time. The USA have beaten Brazil at the last 2 Paralympic Games, and when Young made it 7-all, they looked on course to do it again. But just as they did against France in their opening match, Brazil found a way to win. 4 quick goals without reply, including a 5th for Moreno, put them in complete control. Jose Marcio Souza was the joint top scorer at the Tokyo Paralympic Games, and he got his 2nd of this year's competition to make it 12-7. Still time for 1 more. Substitute Paulo Saccherino with Brazil's 13th. Young responded 1 final time for the USA, but it was much too little, too late. 13-8 the final score. Defeat for the United States in their opening match, but it's 2 wins from 2 for the defending champions, and once again, they look like they might just be the team to beat.
I'm very happy because this is the first time we've beat Team USA in the Paralympic Games. It was very difficult at the beginning because they were finding some good shots, so we had to be consistent in defense. When we realized we could get the win, we started to push our game to get the success.
Goalball may be a relatively new sport in France, but it's a sport that the home crowd have really got behind in Paris. Their support is noisy, but the game must be played in silence to allow the teams to hear the bells in the ball. When your team scores with their very first throw, though, it's hard to stay quiet. 18-year-old Elias Uni putting France ahead against the Islamic Republic of Iran. And France soon doubled their lead. Kadabou Alia with his 2nd goal of the competition. Iran needed a response. They found it through Hassan Jafari. Iran's first goal at a Paralympics in 12 years, following their last appearance in London. And unfortunately for France, once Jafari had scored 1, there was no stopping him. He soon levelled up the tie, and then scored 3 more to put Iran on top. Not quite the perfect half for Jafari, though. He gave away a penalty for throwing the ball without it touching the Iran area first. A clever French routine distracted Jafari, and that allowed Uni to score. Goals were not a problem for either side in the first half. 3 more followed, 2 of them for Iran, and they led 7-4 at half-time. So work to do for the hosts after the break, but with Jafari in form, that was proving difficult. His 7th goal of the match, Iran's advantage now 4. France, though, continued to push. 2 penalties saw them reduce the deficit to 2. But every time France got within touching distance, Iran had an answer. 2 goals from Milad Suri kept his side in control. Teenager Uni continued to star for the hosts as France refused to give up. But defeat was finally confirmed when they conceded 2 more Iran goals, including an 8th for Jafari. 12-8 the final score. A winning start for Iran, but it's successive defeats for France.
Para-rowing is the ultimate test of strength and stamina. Competitors propel across 2,000 metres on a boat using oars to be the fastest in a 6-lane battle. The Paralympic Games have 3 types of events: single sculls, double sculls and coxed 4. There are 3 sport classes: PR1, PR2 and PR3, related to the degree of activity limitation on the athlete's ability to row. PR1 single scull events are for rowers without trunk or leg function. They race using 2 oars and strap their bodies for support and balance. Mixed double scull races are for PR2 and PR3 rowers. They propel with 2 oars and might have some leg function to help slide the seat for power. In Cox 4 races, competitors work together as a team of 4 PR3 rowers and a coxswain. Teams are 2 women and 2 men with different impairment types, each using 1 oar. The coxswain, who can be able-bodied, is responsible for steering and looking out for the tactics from rival boats. The fastest boats from the heats or repechage qualify to race for gold in the final. Power, technique, timing and stroke speed determine performance.
The magnificent Vers-sur-Marne Nautical Stadium was the setting for the para-rowing regatta. The PR1 women's single sculls got the competition underway. This race featured 2 stars of Tokyo 2020. At the bottom of the screen, in lane 6, silver medalist Moran Samuel from Israel. Samuel made a fast start. Chasing her in lane 3, Nathalie Benoit of France, a bronze medalist at the last Games. This the first of 2 heats. The winner of each race progressed to the final. The other athletes went into the repechage races. A 2-kilometre course, which Samuel completed in just under 10 minutes in a Paralympic best time. A comfortable victory for the Israeli sculler, finishing more than 20 seconds clear of Benoit. The other heat involved defending champion Birgit Skarstein from Norway, an experienced rower who has dominated this event. Skarstein, at the top of the screen, faced a strong challenge from Anna Sheremet. The Ukrainian in lane 4 is an up-and-coming athlete with great promise. It would prove a thrilling contest between the pair, who led the rest of the field by some distance. At halfway, less than half a second separated Skarstein and Sheremet. The Norwegian maintained a narrow lead, but Sheremet refused to give up. The Ukrainian had produced a big upset, winning by almost 2 seconds to reach the final. Skarstein had suffered a rare defeat. Roman Polyansky from Ukraine began his defence of his Paralympic title in the PR1 men's single sculls. Another impressive performance from Polyansky, who eased to victory, with his result never in doubt. One of his rivals for gold at Paris 2024 could be Benjamin Pritchard of Great Britain. A convincing winner of the second heat with a Paralympic Games best time.
The field events on day 1 of para-athletics at Paris 2024 were staged in front of an enthusiastic crowd at the Stade de France and began with the women's discus F55 category. In this category, all athletes compete in a seated position, either in a wheelchair or on a throwing chair. And the early leader was Mexico's Rosa Maria Guerrero Cazares. Her third attempt was measured at 25 metres 81 centimetres. But she'd eventually be overtaken by Dongfei Jia of the People's Republic of China. Dong had already thrown 26.39 with her third throw. This effort was measured at 26 metres 67. Had she done enough to retain her Paralympic title? That would depend on the performance of Erica Maria Castaños Salazar of Colombia. With her second throw, Castaño Salazar knew it was close. By just 3 centimetres, she'd won the event and taken the Paralympic gold medal. 26 metres, 70 centimetres, the winning throw. In the women's shot put F41 category, Tunisia's Roua Talili is expected to challenge for the gold medal. She had lots of support inside the stadium, but the first athlete to produce an impressive throw was Kubaro Kakimova of Uzbekistan. With her second attempt, Kakimova threw a distance of 10 metres 36 centimetres. What could Talili do in response? It was close, but the defending champion had taken the lead with a distance of 10 metres 40. It was enough for victory. Talili had claimed her 5th shot put gold medal at the Paralympics. She's also won 2 discus golds, making her the most decorated Tunisian in Paralympic history. And her celebrations continued onto the medal podium. Uzbekistan were hoping for significant success in the women's long jump T11 category. Asila Mirtsayarova is the double world champion in the event, and she was impressive from her very first jump. The T11 is for athletes with vision impairment. They use guides to help them jump at exactly the right moment, and good communication is vital. Mirtsayarova's opening leap was 5 metres 22 centimetres, breaking the Paralympic record, which had stood since 1996. Her nearest rival as the competition developed was Zhou Guoha of the People's Republic of China. Her jump in round 1 was 4 metres 91 centimetres. It was good enough to earn her the silver medal. But Mirtsayarova had taken gold. She extended her lead in the 5th round with this jump of 5 metres 24 centimetres. And a few minutes later, she could celebrate with the big group of Uzbekistan supporters in the stadium, thanks to her new Paralympic record of 5 metres 24. The opening session of field events ended with the men's javelin F38 category, which produced a dominant performance from Jose Gregorio Lemos Rivas of Colombia. The 4th throw from Lemos Rivas had won him the Paralympic title and broken his own world record. It was measured at 63 metres 81 centimetres, more than 2 metres further than the previous mark, making Lemos Rivas a worthy champion.
I am not very happy because I need to a new record for my discipline in shot put, but it's okay. The gold and I rest the number 1. I am so happy for this competition today.
I love how free it makes me feel. I've never felt uncomfortable in the water. When I was out, people would always point fingers at me, they would always whisper. But in the water, it's not going to point fingers. It does not care whether you're disabled or not disabled. I'm Husna Kukundakwe. I'm a paraswimmer from Uganda. In Tokyo, I learned lots of lessons because I was young. I was told that I'm the youngest athlete there, not just youngest swimmer. It was nerve-wracking, to say the least, but I honestly had fun and honestly left really happy.
I'm only 14 years old and I just guess I'm really lucky and happy to get a chance to compete with them.
You may find that in Uganda, people with disabilities are usually seen as curses and are abandoned by their families. You go to a school, for example, for people with disabilities, and you find a child who's just been left behind and they're expected to grow up on their own without any support. I'm very fortunate because my family, they have always been by my side, especially my mom, and they encouraged me to feel free with myself. Hopefully, the IPC can walk that extra mile, or maybe through the Athletes Council to walk that extra mile in Uganda to show people that people with disabilities can be something and they can be better than what people in Africa perceive them to be. I still have a long way to go with my paraswimming career. I realized that this is all about making the best of the opportunity that I've been given here. And in the future, looking forward to more Paralympic Games where I get to speak and share my story with the rest of the world.
At La Défense Arena, the Paris swimming heats continued with some impressive times. In the 100-metre freestyle S5, Italy's Monica Boggioni was on the hunt to upgrade her Tokyo 2020 bronze medal. She cruised comfortably through to the final, winning her heat in 1 minute 23:46, ahead of Lu Yu of the People's Republic of China. Germany's Tanja Schulz touched third, setting a new Paralympic record in the S4 classification. The second heat featured Tully Kearney of Great Britain, who holds the world record in this event. She was challenged by Ukraine's Irina Poida in the first 50. But the British swimmer eased into first place. She and Poida progressed to the final. There were fast heats in the men's S4 100-metre freestyle. World record holder Ami Omer Dadon of Israel smashed the Paralympic record. He clocked a 1:19:33 and will now chase a medal in the event final. In the men's 200-metre individual medley SM6, Colombia's Nelson Crispin Corzo was chased by Wang Jiang of China in the early stages. But he asserted his dominance, pulling into a convincing lead, with Bruce Dee of Great Britain taking second place. Uganda's only Paralympic swimmer, Hasna Kukundakwe, was in lane 1 in the women's SB8 100-metre breaststroke heat. The race was a showdown between world record holder Brock Whiston of Team GB and Tokyo 2020 Paralympic gold medalist Ellen Keane of Ireland. Keane led at the turn, but the British record holder advanced and they reached the wall in a dead heat, 1:24:59. Kukundakwe of Uganda finished 7th. The mixed 4x50-metre freestyle relay 20 points. This combined male and female athletes across various classes. Brazil led at the first turn, but by the second, the United States of America had made up ground. The South Americans chased Team USA on the final length. But Ellie Marks of the USA brought her team to a narrow victory and qualification. Spain and Mexico were also on the hunt for a place in the finals. Spain took out third place and Mexico came in fourth.
The Paralympic Games wheelchair rugby competition continued with a match in Group B. Defending champions Great Britain took on Denmark at the Champ de Mars Arena. The sport is fast and physical and it produces exciting contests. Great Britain had won their opening fixture against Australia by just 3 tries. Denmark had lost to France by just 2. And this game was immediately close. In the first of 4 8-minute periods, there was never more than 1 try between the teams. Tries are scored by carrying the ball over the goal line, and Stuart Robinson pounced on a Danish mistake to put Great Britain in front. The match remained closely and fiercely contested for the next 2 periods. When Jamie Stead scored late in the third, Great Britain looked set to finally pull clear. But the Danes refused to give up. And with 4.5 minutes remaining, Sebastian Fredriksson made it a 1-try game once again. But Robinson remained Great Britain's key performer, and his interception with less than 2 minutes left proved crucial. His 26th try of the match, and the defending champions were able to hang on. Yet another narrow victory, but a second in Group B for Great Britain, who are now well set for the semi-finals. Final score, Great Britain 55, Denmark 53.
For us, as teammates and as a team, it's that confidence. We knew going into all games in this tournament, games aren't going to be won in the first quarter. It's going to be a game of attrition. It's going to come later on in the tournament. And all the hard work has been paying off, so it's nice to see.
The wheelchair rugby competition continued at the Champ de Mars Arena with a meeting of the two undefeated teams in Group A. The United States of America, wearing blue, had narrowly beaten Canada in their opening game, while Japan had enjoyed a convincing win over Germany. The two teams settled into their scoring rhythm quickly. Tries are scored by crossing the goal line with both wheels. This was an important match for both teams. The United States are bidding to improve on the silver medal they won at Tokyo 2020. While Japan won bronze in their home games, and Katsuya Hashimoto gave them a 2-try lead late in the first period. Only for the USA to hit back immediately when Chuck Aoki spectacularly set up a try for Chuck Melton. The two teams continued to trade scores, and when Mason Simons crossed for the Americans, it was 22 tries all at half-time. The match was certainly living up to wheelchair rugby's reputation as an intense, full-contact sport. That continued to be the case in the third period. Once again, Japan opened up a 2-try lead. And again, the United States reduced the deficit just before the buzzer. But in the final period, Japan's high-press defence, combined with their lightning-fast attacks, proved decisive. They opened up a 4-try lead, and this time there was no comeback from the USA. They now need a win in their final Group A match against Germany, while Japan are on course for the semi-finals. Final score, United States of America 42, Japan 45.
They're a very dangerous team, phenomenal team, probably one of the best teams here. If we play our game, nobody can beat us, in my opinion. And we played a very bad game, and they only beat us by 3. So, yeah, it's not surprising because we didn't play that great. So, considering that, yes, it's not surprising at all.
Day 2 of action in the women's sitting volleyball tournament started with a clash of Paralympic titans, the United States of America and the People's Republic of China at the North Paris Arena. Both sides have contested the last 4 Paralympic gold medal matches, the Americans winning in both 2020 and 2016. In a high-quality opening set, the two teams showcased their skills, both defensive and offensive, with the United States, who trailed early on, taking the first set as Katie Bridge fired home. China have appeared in every Paralympic women's sitting volleyball final, and they showed their enduring power when taking the second set to level matters at 1 set apiece. The Americans needed a response, but the momentum was with the 3-time gold medalists. Xu Yixiao's drive helping them win the third set to move 2-1 up. The United States still believed, though, and had the chance to level matters at 2 sets all, only to waste the opportunity with a long serve. Just moments later, the Asian champions made full use of their unexpected chance when forcing an error to win the match by 3 sets to 1, and so start to avenge their loss in the Tokyo final last time out. The day's second game featured the most successful side in Paralympic sitting volleyball history, the Islamic Republic of Iran, against Ukraine. Iran's stature is unmatchable, not only given their record 7 titles, but also in Morteza Mezaz-Selakjani, the tallest Paralympian in history. He soon made his forceful presence felt as Iran took the first set 25-13. Ukraine are making only their third appearance in this event and fell 2 sets behind with a wild smash that Denis Bitchenko will not want to see again. The Asian, world and reigning Paralympic champions have few rivals at the top of the sport, and Iran took the third set as Sadek Bigeli wrapped up the win and an early lead in Pool B.
The preliminary rounds of the boccia competition continued at the South Paris Arena with a BC4 match-up between Stephen Maguire of Great Britain and Artem Kalinko from Ukraine. Kalinko had been dreaming of competing in the Paralympic Games since he was 14. Both athletes with 1 win so far. Maguire, with the blue balls, manoeuvred himself into a superb position in end 1 to secure 3 points, and then added another 2 in the second end. At times, Kalinko showed great precision for a hard end point in the third end. But Maguire, with all his experience, was able to build on his advantage and claim his second win, 7 points to 1. In the next pool game, London 2012 gold medalist from Brazil, Maciel Santos, faced the Netherlands' Marco Dekker in the BC2 category. Santos had won his opening match, while Dekker had lost his first. It was 1-0 to Santos after the first end, as Dekker tried to block his opponent with a guard to limit the damage. But a masterful delivery from the Brazilian took him into a 4-0 lead at the halfway stage. Dekker pulled 2 back in the third, but Santos remained in control, and after a measure, it was another 3 points for a 7-2 win. Then David Araujo from Portugal, just 17, was up against Aurélien Fabre from France in the BC2 category. And the youngster was off to a great start with 2 points in the first end. Fabre pulled 1 back in the second and then edged ahead in the third end after Araujo faced a tricky final ball.
10 seconds.
And he missed, so 2 points went to Fabre. It looked like the game might be heading to a tiebreaker, but Fabre set up the end well, and Araujo missed with his first and then his second, and that meant the local favourite Fabre didn't have to play his final ball. He'd won the game against a higher-ranked opponent, and there were celebrations all round. In the women's boccia competition, Sonia Heckel from France, one of the favourites, faced Edyta Owczarz of Poland in the BC3 class. Owczarz was making her Paralympic debut, while Heckel had competed in Tokyo. And it was the Polish athlete who upset the odds and the world number 1, as she claimed 4 points in the third and fourth ends for a 9-2 victory.
Shooting parasport is a test of accuracy. Competitors are known for a steady hand, concentration and emotional control. At the Paralympic Games, shooters compete in rifle and pistol events, from 10 metres, 25 metres and 50 metres, in men's, women's and mixed competition events. The goal is to make the most shots closest to the centre of a 10-ring target. Scores can be subdivided to the decimal level, with 10.9 the highest possible score per shot at the centre of the bullseye. Depending on the event and sport class, athletes can shoot from a kneeling position, standing or in a wheelchair or seat, or prone position or in a wheelchair. SH1 athletes have an impairment in the upper and or lower body. In pistol events, athletes shoot with one arm unsupported. In rifle events, the rifle is supported with upper limbs. In SH2, shooters use a stand to support the rifle. The top 8 athletes compete in the final. Athletes with the lowest scores are eliminated until a duel between 2 shooters remains for gold and silver medals. Controlled breathing, slowing down heart rate for the accuracy and the win.
The first final at Paris 2024 in shooting parasport was the women's 10-metre air rifle standing SH1. The top 8 from qualifying made the final. The format, 2 series of 5 shots, then 14 single shots. And after every 2, the bottom-ranked shooter was eliminated. While the Republic of Korea's Lee Yun-ri set the early pace, on the 12th shot, the People's Republic of China's Zhang Qiuping was eliminated, finishing in 8th. Next to exit was Zhong Yi-shin from China before a shoot-off. Veronika Vadovikova from Slovakia just losing out to the Ukrainian Iryana Shetnik. Anna Benson of Sweden finished 5th as world number 1 Shetnik narrowly missed out on a medal in 4th. The slimmest of margins remained between the 3 competitors, just 0.1 points between India's Avani Lakhara and South Korea's Lee. They pulled away though from India's Mona Agarwal, who took the bronze. Level heading into the final 2 shots, Lee scored 10.7, edging her ahead. But drama late on, a 10.5 from Lakhara and only 6.8 from Lee meant the gold medal went to the Indian shooter. Avani Lakhara defending the gold medal she won in this event in Tokyo. Next up at the Châteauroux Shooting Centre was the men's 10-metre air pistol SH1 final. Paralympic and world record holder Yang Chao set the early pace, leading the way after 10 shots. The Islamic Republic of Iran's Mohammad Reza Mirshafdi was the first shooter to exit the competition, before Uzbekistan's Server Ibragimov soon followed. Denmark's Buster Antonsen shot a maximum points tally of 10.9 on his 16th shot, which was enough to oust China's Liu Shoulong. The Dane was next to fall, 8 points not enough to progress. He finished 5th. Cuba's Alexander Reina Jerez just missed out on the medals in 4th, which left the world number 1, 2 and 3 to battle it out. A gold medalist in both Tokyo and Rio, it was bronze this time for Yang Chao.
Stop for the next competition shot, low.
The leader at that point in the standings, South Korea's Jo Jong-do, in his second from last shot scored 10.8. And that was enough to seal the gold over India's Manish Narwal, who took the silver. A first Paralympic Games medal for the South Korean.
It feels very nice to win another gold medal for my country this time. I was just thinking about that I just want to give my 100% and I was just focusing on my process and I was not thinking much about the medal. I was just thinking, okay, let's take one shot at a time. It feels very nice to see another person from my country winning medal on the same podium.
The red clay of Roland Garros was the venue for the wheelchair tennis at the Paris 2024 Paralympic Games. On court, Jose Pablo Gil of Costa Rica faced Connor Stride of the United States of America. Gil made a promising start with some superb shot making, helping him to an early break. Stride came back strongly, converting the first of 3 break points for a 4-2 first set lead. He went on to take the opening set in style before opening out an early 4-1 second set advantage. Gil's challenge duly faded, and the American had secured a 6-3, 6-1 victory on court Philippe Chatrier to book his place in the second round.
6-3, 6-1.
Meanwhile, Paralympic debutante Luca Arca of Italy took on Adam Berdachevsky of Israel in the first round of the men's singles. Berdachevsky found his rhythm early, producing some winners to clinch the key points and ease through the opening set. Both players struggled to hold serve as the second set got underway, the Israeli with a backhand winner for the fourth consecutive break of serve. He pushed on to take a 4-2 lead. But Arca continued to offer some resistance. The Italian fended off a match point in the 10th game with a superb cross-court forehand. But it seemed like a long way back if he was to force the match into a deciding set. Berdachevsky was keen to bring things to an early close, and a slick service return on the second match point saw him through to the next round. Victory in 2 sets, 6-2, 7-5.
There was an intriguing match in Pool C as Brazil took on Israel in the women's goalball. Brazil were looking to build on their impressive draw against the defending champions Turkey, while Israel were just starting their tournament. For long periods of the first half, both teams were evenly matched. Brazil's Danielle Longini found a unique way to throw as she tried to find a breakthrough. And her teammate Monatha Lima was even closer shortly after, denied only by a brilliant save from Or Mizrahi, who was able to change direction at the very last moment. Mizrahi then went from defence to attack and finally found a breakthrough to put Israel in front. 1 became 2 very quickly, Lily Ben David with pure power and pace, goalball perfection. And Israel were firmly in control when Brazil conceded a penalty for making noise after their throw. Ben David with the finish. 3-0. Their opponents did get a glimmer of hope before the half ended, Jessica Vitorino scoring Brazil's first. Any momentum they had, though, was soon gone. 3 early second-half goals gave Israel a 4-goal lead. Mizrahi got 2 of them, including this spinning effort, which felt impossible to defend. At 6-2, the deficit appeared unassailable. Brazil, though, were far from finished. Vitorino made it 6-3. Before Giovanna Mora got Brazil's 4th, and all of a sudden, they were in the ascendancy, only for the match to turn one more time. Ben David's shot taking a couple of deflections and finding its way into the net. Brazil's momentum gone. A 4th goal for Mizrahi rounded off an impressive win for Israel, a victory which takes them above their opponents in Pool C. A setback, though, for Brazil, who have 1 pool match left to play.
It feels amazing. It feels like we started the tournament in the right flag, as we should, and we came strong as we wanted. Here it was amazing to hear the crowd, to hear the Brazilian crowd, to hear all of them cheering. It was like any other feeling I can't describe. I live for this feeling.